Hello boys and girls, and welcome back to art. This week we're creating a shadow box using our designs that we created last week with our thumbnail sketches. To start, we'll need a square piece of paper. You can do this by folding a paper diagonally and then cutting off the bottom to create your square. And we're going to fold that paper into looking something like this. You can use any color paper that you want. I'm using gold, but you can use any color that you have available. We're going to start by taking the bottom part of our paper and folding it up to form a rectangle from the bottom to the top so that there's a line down the center of our paper. And then we're going to take it and fold it the other direction and crease it so that when we open it up we have like a plus sign running through the middle of our paper. We're going to take that and turn it over, and we're going to take our corners of our paper and fold them in to the center of our paper. We're going to do this to all four corners. Once we've folded all four corners, make sure that they are creased nicely on the edges. You can take the back of your thumbnail to press along the edges. And then we are going to take the bottom part of our square and fold it into the center of our paper. Turn it around, and we're going to go from the bottom of the other side and fold it into the center. When you open it up, make sure that that little triangle folds back into the middle. And now we're going to go along the other sides of our paper and fold them into the center. So we did the bottom and the top, and now we're doing both sides and folding them into the center. Fold down the two triangles, and now we're going to take the sides and we're going to unfold them, and we're going to take the bottom and fold it in, and we're going to do the same thing to the top. Now we're going to take the edges of our paper, we're going to press in just a little bit and bend upwards, and it's going to fold together. And I'll show you again. You're going to take the two edges, press them in, and then you're going to take one side, fold it down over the edge, and press it in, and the bottom triangle folds down, and do the same thing to the other side. Bend it over the edge and fold it in. And there you have the box for your shadow box. Now you're ready to make the thumbnail sketch and turn it into the design inside your box. So place your box at the corner of a white piece of paper and draw a line on the bottom, a line on the side, and use the other two edges to form a square that you can place for the back part of your shadow box. And it should fit nicely inside. If you need to cut it to make it fit a little better, you are welcome to do that too. Take your piece of paper out and draw your design on your paper the way that you want it to look for your background inside your shadow box. Once you have your design drawn, you can go in and use a black marker to outline your design, and then you are welcome to color it any way that you want. I use watercolor paints. You are welcome to use markers, crayons, color pencils, anything you have available to you to color in and decorate your background. Place your background off to the side if it needs to dry. And then get your piece of paper that you were working with last time to cut out the square for your background. And I am thinking about the different objects that I want to stand out. And so I am drawing some trees that are going to be in the foreground or the midground of my shadow box. And anything that I add to my design has to have a little foot to make it stand up inside the box. So make sure that your objects have a little longer of a piece of paper, like a rectangle on it, so that you can take that piece and fold it down and place it so that it'll stand up inside your box. Next, you can color in using any materials you have. I'm using colored pencils. Once you have your object drawn, you can start cutting out that object. I like to cut around it first and then go back in and go closer so that there's no white spaces. Once it's cut out, you can bend that little foot down and back so that it can stand up on its own, just like that. Then do the same process. So any other objects that you have, you're going to kind of measure out, make sure that you don't make something too big or too small, and then sketch them out Make sure you leave a little foot so that your object has something to make it stand up. I'm making a little canoe for my next object. And I don't have to draw the foot on it. I just want to make sure that when I cut this object out that it has some extra paper that I can bend backwards so that it stands out. So you'll see that I drew it on this one. That just allows me to remember that I have that extra piece of little paper. So when I cut it out, I want to make sure that I keep that piece so that I can bend it backwards and allow it to stand up inside my shadow box. Now I'm making my third and final item for my shadow box. This one is going to hang from the top, so I made sure I did that little extra piece of paper first, and then I'm sketching it out and adding details to it, and then going to color it in. So I would say that for your shadow box you should have 3 items that are going to come out of the frame of your shadow box. So at least 3. Because this is a comfort box, I'm having my bat say hang in there because he's hanging upside down, and I thought that would be kind of clever. If you want your creature or animal or something in your shadow box to say something, you are welcome to do something similar. Now I'm going in and cutting around the bat so that there's no white showing, or as little white as possible. Making sure to keep that little extra piece of paper on so I can bend it back, and it fits perfectly in the front of my shadow box. Looks great. There's nothing that it's hiding. I do want to color the purple in between the bat's feet so that it looks like the purple sky behind him. And now I'm ready to assemble my box together. So I'm adding just a dot, not a lot, to the background and placing it in the back first. Then pressing hard so that it stays in place. Then I can add my bat to the top on that little folded piece of paper that I created, pressing it down so that it stays tight to the top of the shadow box. Taking the tree, pressing it down to the bottom, and my canoe is the last detail I'm going to add a little dot of glue to. Press down, and it might be a little tricky to make it stick, but that's okay. It will dry and it'll stay together. And there we have our shadow box. I hope that you enjoyed creating this little shadow box with a comforting message. I cannot wait to see what your creations look like and your messages that they send. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.